And to shed more light on the issue, we have with us over the phone Nile TV's senior correspondent, Taghreed Hussein. Good afternoon, Taghreed.
Good afternoon to you, dear.
So, Taghreed, can you tell us more about the sessions today and the Ask the President session that is expected to start in the coming hours?
A very important day at the 8th National Youth Conference that took off and kicked off earlier in the morning with His Excellency President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi inaugurating the conference. The 8th National Youth Conference takes place in New Cairo, and it began with a documentary that presented Egypt's efforts in supporting the young people, stating how empowering the youth today has been of utmost priority to the President since he assumed office. The President launched the Presidential Leadership Program, as you know, to empower the youth, and different youth conferences took place later from 2016 up till the present moment. The Youth Forum has developed into a very important foundation establishing dialogue with the young people. The state encourages today young people to do business and also to set up new agencies for developing the small and medium-sized enterprises, and also allocating 200 billion Egyptian pounds to fund the loans for the young people to start their own projects. It was great to interview the youth today, to feel their spirit. Earlier in the day, I spoke with the young champions of Egypt who had raised our flag on more than one international scale. They are to be honored by His Excellency, the President, on the occasion, our champions at the African Games. And also, we have seen a documentary that screened their reputable performance. Another documentary has been seen screening more about terrorist threats. That was the theme of the first session of the conference, showing that how in 2018 there has been a losing of nearly $60 billion because of terrorism. So it talked about terrorism as a global threat. Egypt has a long history and experience in fighting terrorism and in fighting the terrorist groups, as the President had elaborated earlier in the sessions, especially, of course, the Muslim Brotherhood terrorist organizations. Reviewing violence of the Brotherhood against the Egyptian people, and epic events also of June 30th revolution, in which the army had responded to the call of the people and supported the Egyptians. Nearly 1,600 participants, most of whom are young people, including university students that we can see around, also the youth who worked on the presidential program, engineers working on national projects, and also entrepreneurs who are also there and present and are taking part in this important event. We are expecting later in the day, around 6 p.m. Cairo local time, the session, the most important session, Ask the President session, where His Excellency President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi is going to answer the questions from the public. So a very important day, actually. The National Youth Conference today, being held under the auspices of the President, is constituting today actually a platform mainly providing promising Egyptian youth with this opportunity that we see, holding a direct dialogue with the state and its different institutions, and working together in shaping a better future through a national vision, through scientific planning, and also through constructive dialogue.
Well, Taghreed, very good afternoon. This is Nermeen Abdurrahman. Of course, we all cannot wait to watch Ask the President session, where he is going to answer all of the questions directed to him by the Egyptian youth. But before going to this, let's speak a little bit about the session which tackled the fourth generation war and the rumors and the the role which can be played by the internet and social media. How do you see the impact of choosing this topic in specific to speak about with the youth, and to try or to urge all Egyptians to be fully aware of the rumor campaigns which we are facing, and for the development or the path of development Egypt started, and nothing can set us back?
A very important session, as you've mentioned, Nermeen, and it's very important also that the youth would be aware of this kind of warfare. Today, in today's, let's say, the fourth generation war, as we put it this way, specifically, you cannot like define like before the old times the enemy, but today social media could be definitely a double-edged weapon. That's why the youth should not be brainwashed. The youth today should be quite aware of the challenges that we are facing, and also of the kind of the warfare that we are exposed to. Hence came their participation is very important in that respect. The youth of Egypt, I can tell you, are very much aware of that. And where we can focus today, you find young politicians sharing, the youth of different specializations and different fields. So the inclusion of the youth from this sense of diversity, being aware of the challenges of the country, what our country is facing, being aware of the fourth generation wars is very important, that they have to be politically aware in that respect. And this is what Professor Dr. Noha Bakr in her interview earlier with Nile TV International had outlined, that this is the role of the state also to raise the level of awareness of the youth today, engaging them in such a constructive dialogue, letting them know more about those sense of lies and how to face them. Very important, this sense of engagement in itself, this sense of dialogue, listening to the youth and understanding also their needs and engaging them in this constructive dialogue is very healthy at the moment, so that they would be aware of the challenges that lie ahead and how to face them. Nermeen.
Thank you very much, Taghreed. This was Taghreed Hussein, Nile TV senior correspondent. And on the sidelines of the conference, Taghreed Hussein, our senior correspondent, held the following interviews.